Good morning, Kitchen Witches. Today is Saturday. We made it to Saturday, July 18th, and this is your tarot and menu inspiration for the day. I'm Chef Lisa, editor and chief of Chef's Grimoire magazine, still awaiting the hard copies in the mail. So as soon as I get them, you're gonna take a look. Right, so we are gonna shuffle and we're gonna get one card that's going to be everything we need to know for the day. Let's see what we've got. I'm in anticipation, not only for the card of the day, but also for the hard copies to come, the magazine. All right. Here we go. Ready? All right, we have the Seven of Wands. So this is a minor arcana. Wands are our passions, where fire energy is here, right? So it's our passion, it's our creativity, it's anything that lights a fire under us to do something. That's Wands energy. So this card is depicted, well, first of all, it's ruled by the Chariot, right? Seventh card in the major arcana is the Chariot. And the Chariot is all about motivation, but it's motivation and will within us. So it's all depicted as moving forward, right? Chariot, quote unquote, you would think is in motion, with it being drawn by horses sometimes as it's drawn. But in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, they're sphinxes. And the sphinxes are laying down, right? They don't even have reins attached to them. And the chariot is made of stone. And you can't see the legs of the charioteer. I mean, all of these clues just tell you that even though it's a card about motion, it's not physical forward motion. It's all internal. It's all tapping into the higher realms, confirming everything that you've been marinating or thinking about, and now using your will and determination to make it happen. So that is underlining this card or ruling this card. So now we've got the fiery passion of wands. We've got this individual which looks like they're standing on top of maybe a grassy mountain or a mossy mountain. And there's all these wands that are pointing up at them, kind of like pushing him. And he's fighting back, but he's not fighting back forcefully. If you look at his face, he's very calm, right? It's not like he's got an angry type of stance. He's well standed and well situated, so he won't topple over, right? He's got good footing on the mountain, and he's feeling like he's on top, so he knows that he's not going to be taken down anytime soon. But he still wants to make sure that, everybody knows not to play with him or not to mess with him, right? So it's competition, but competition where you feel like even if you win, or even whether you win or lose, you're still on top. You have nothing to lose, basically. And that's what this card is all about. Also, sevens are kind of a plateau number. They're kind of a restful number. We've gone through 1, 2, 3, learning about ourselves. We move into 4, which gives us structure. Then 5, where we tap into the higher realms with Hierophant, and also asking the questions. We move on to 6, which is nurturing and the lovers. 7, Chariot, brings us right to the motivation and will that we have within us. And so, like I said, even though it's forward motion 7, it's still kind of plateau, kind of not actually taking the first step yet. So it's a rest before you move on, right? Also, 7 major arcanas. After you've gotten to the Chariot, now you're moving to the second line of the major arcana, which is all about the subconscious. We've gone through the consciousness. Now we're going into the subconscious realm of the journey. So it's a great way to take a pause. Look behind you, see what you've done, only to reevaluate, course correct, and move on to the next leg of the journey, right? So all of that is in this card for a minor arcana, right? So again, anybody who's new to tarot, learn your major arcanas inside and out, and it's only going to support you when you start to learn your minor arcana. So what does this card mean? Well, it means competition. It means coming out on top, whether you win or lose. You still have confidence in yourself. You still know that nobody can really challenge you. You have made a place or have made an understanding for you, yourself, and I that you don't need to pretend for anybody else. You are you, and that's good enough, right? So I think that's what this card kind of represents. And also, just taking that step back to say, hey, wait a minute, I don't need to fight for that, but I do need to fight for this, right? So a little bit of pick and choose what you're going to have your battles be about. So bringing that card into today, let's think about that, right? So how confident do you feel within your shell? Do you need to pretend? Do you need to be somebody else when you're with a group of people? Can you just be yourself and be okay? So that's something to think about. Also, what are you fighting? What are your passions, right? What are you willing to put your passions towards? Today it's Saturday, so having fun is top of the line agenda, right? So what are you passionate about that brings you joy and fun? And maybe, some of us are even thinking, I'm really good at beading. Maybe I'll turn this into a little side hustle or a little side job, right? So you're starting to contemplate whether you can do an entrepreneurial venture with your passion, right? So pause, think about it, take today, and know that you don't, maybe one of the things that crosses your mind with your entrepreneurial venture is, oh my gosh, everybody does jewelry. So I would just be 1 in a billion people doing jewelry. But you're you. So whatever you do is not what 10,000 other people are going to do. You are enough. So that's what this card is bringing us to today. Now, if we were going to bring the 7 of Wands into the kitchen, I'm thinking that we're pushing boundaries. We're pushing boundaries because we're very confident with who we are. We are confident with the passions that we have. And we're just going to test the waters a little bit, right? So, and that's basically what they're doing. They're fighting off the staves or the wands, but they're kind of pushing boundaries like, aha, you cannot take me off this mountain. And I know it. But do you? So when we walk into the kitchen, the 7 of Wands would make for breakfast what's called comex, right? So we're pushing boundaries. We're bringing 2 cuisines and we're fusing them together. So comex is Korean and Mexican together in a dish. So what about a breakfast ramen bowl with chorizo and lime? So you make your ramen as you normally would. You can use the little packets with the the noodles, and then the little packet of seasoning that you put into your water. Perfect, fine. You can go all out and get fresh ramen noodles and make your own broth, right? It's Saturday, so you got time. But the difference is that you're going to slice up some Mexican chorizo, fry it up, and then you're going to add that to the ramen noodles, plus squeeze a nice amount of lime juice on there. And that's bringing in the Mexican element to the Korean meal. I love it, and it sounds good to me. And then poach an egg and pop that on top. Aces, right? Really nice. For lunch, we're going to do, we're going to, again, bring in an Asian element, this time Chinese, and we're going to do egg rolls. But we're going to bring in a little Polish, Jewish American. Maybe not Polish. It's more Jewish American, pastrami. We're going to do pastrami egg rolls. So we're pushing boundaries. We're taking the two cuisines that were always separate and we're fusing them together. So pastrami egg rolls with Thousand Island dip. You got a little American in there with the Thousand Island. Right, so here we go. We're gonna take our egg roll wrappers. We're gonna get pastrami either from the deli, which is great, your deli in your supermarket. Have them slice it nice and thin. And you're going to put that into the egg roll. You can add a pickle in there. That would be really nice, right? And then you roll it up, get your deep fryer oil, pop it in there, or the air fryer, great. And then while that's working, or while frying or doing its thing, you're going to be making your Thousand Island dressing. And you can just get a recipe online. It's very easy. Just a whole bunch of ingredients in a bowl, mix it up, delicious. So that's your lunch, pastrami egg rolls with Thousand Island dip. I like it. It's delicious. If you've never had, try it. I think you'll like it. Right, so moving on, what would our card of the day, the Seven of Wands, make for dinner? Well, I'm thinking green miso filet of steak. So filet mignon would be lovely. Hanger steak, better, probably price pointed better. So go with that. Or even skirt steak or any steak you like. Any steak you have in your fridge, freezer, terrific. Use that. But what you're going to do is you're going to make a green miso sauce. So again, we're working with like a Japanese, Asian, and we're bringing in a little bit of Peruvian. So we're fusing Japanese and Peruvian cuisines together with this meal. Because the green miso sauce for the filet of steak is similar to a chimichurri. And if you don't know what a chimichurri is, it's basically cilantro and parsley. Just completely forgot that word. Cilantro, parsley, olive oil. You're making it into a sauce with lots of garlic, and it's lovely and bright, and it goes on top of the steak, right? That's a Peruvian meal, right? But with adding miso paste, a little basil and spinach as your greens, you're making a pesto kind of with a good dollop of either yellow or mushroom miso, right? So that brings that umami flavors into the sauce. And that's going to be put over your steak however you want to cook it. Pan fry it, grill it, terrific, right? Serving that with sweet potato flatbread, because once your steak is seared and rested, or reverse sear, fantastic, in the oven, right? Reverse sear is when you get the char on it first, then you bake it real slow. Or bake it real slow, then pan fry it real quick. You could sous vide, whatever you want to do to your steak. Get it done, get it delicious. Get it to the temperature you like. Make your green miso sauce. And now you're going to slice the steak once it's rested, and you're going to serve it with sweet potato flatbread. So easy peasy. You're going to boil up some sweet potatoes, mash them. You could also roast them, which I prefer because they're not as wet. And then you take the flesh out of the skin and you add to it some flour. I would even use some sourdough discard, right? So if you have sourdough starter in your fridge and you need to feed it and it's gotten a little too tall, take that discard and add it to the flatbread recipe. The flour is going to bind everything together. And the sourdough is going to make it delicious, and of course the sweet potatoes. Little baking powder if you wish, right, to just give it a little bit of loft. And then you're going to pan fry that in high temperature oil, right? So avocado oil, fantastic for this. Then you have flatbread, right? Just put your sliced steak in and drizzle it with that sauce. But we're not done. We're going to add a mango slaw to this. So, right? Japanese, a little bit of mango, the cabbage, the slaw, right? Turn that with a vinaigrette instead of making it creamy with mayonnaise. You can add a little sherry vinegar, right? Olive oil, Dijon mustard, a little shallot, a little garlic. Shake that up in a jar and then pour that over the slaw. That has your mango, your cabbage, carrots, right? Delicious. And that is going to go with your steak on flatbread with the green miso sauce. I'm telling you what, the Seven of Wands can cook. Passion, fire, right? They cook with fire. So, as always, this card and I would love for you to nourish yourself, nourish all those around you with your kitchen magic. I'll see you tomorrow.